Hello, this is David, and in this video I'm going to be conducting a technical analysis of my 50 metres freestyle race from the Swim England Masters National Short Course Swimming Championships 2024. For those of you that watched the race on my YouTube channel when the competition took place will know that I came in with a personal best time of 27.95 seconds, smashing my previous personal best of 28.30 by an absolutely whopping 0.35 seconds, which may not sound a lot, but in a 50 metres freestyle is absolutely huge. And therefore, I just want to take a look back over this race to see what it was that went so well, and as always, look for other ways in which I can improve to get that time down even further. Due to this whopping PB, it's the result from this competition that I am most ecstatic with. And is it any wonder why, when it constituted the first time that I've ever swum a 50 metres freestyle under 28 seconds. So if you would give this video a like, I would very much appreciate it. Remember to follow and subscribe for more swimming content. And to swim faster on limited training time, head on over to westcough.com. But otherwise, without any further ado, let's dive right in to today's technical analysis. So I react a little bit slowly to the buzzer and could have closed my legs on the dive, but travel a nice distance underwater, a little bit bouncy on the surfacing, but from there into a nice, quick and powerful stroke rate. A quick flip and I travel quite far underwater for me yet again on the second 25. Down this final 25, sticking with that nice quick stroke rate, keeping my head down, breathing only once, and coming in with a personal best time of 27.95. So starting with the things that went well in this race, and first off was the underwaters, where I'm becoming increasingly better at traveling further and faster than I ever have before through my dolphin kicks. And I'm certain that this contributes a significant amount of the reason I was able to achieve such a resounding personal best in this event. Typically, my underwaters are my weak point of my race, and therefore to see progress in them was absolutely superb. It's the furthest I've travelled off the dive underwater at the start, and similarly coming down the second 25 after the tumble turn, again, I managed to get as far and fast into that second 25. So that is something that I'm super thrilled with from this race, because I'm seeing progress in it. I know it's the weakest part of my swim, and therefore to have this bit go so well in this race makes me absolutely chuffed. So another thing I'm absolutely thrilled about with this race is the fact that I only took one breath throughout the course of the 50. So last year I managed to conduct a 50 metres freestyle taking only 2 breaths for the very first time, and this year I've managed to take that down another breath. And the reason why this is important is because breathing creates drag in a 50 metres freestyle. Naturally, you want to reduce drag as much as possible, and therefore the aim is to not breathe at all throughout the course of the 50. And so having reduced the number of breaths that I take from 2 down to 1 has certainly helped in that regard, just because it enables you to keep nice and fluid with the shoulders and the stroke rate. When you breathe, it slows down your stroke rate momentarily as you take that breath, as well as creating a little bit extra drag. So another fantastic technical point there from me in this 50 metres freestyle. Again, another great talking point from me is my stroke rate and the amount of power that I'm able to generate from my freestyle stroke. The reason why I'm not quite so elated with this one as I am the other 2 points is because I'm seeing progress a little bit earlier on with this aspect of my swim, and therefore, although it's coming along nicely, I'm really seeing improvements in it. It's becoming a little bit more established now. that I am getting a quicker turnover rate with my arms. I'm getting a quicker stroke rate, which is enabling me to gain greater propulsion through the water. And whilst I'm increasing that stroke rate, I'm still able to hold a good amount of water with my catch, and therefore maintain that power I'm able to generate with each stroke, and just increase the stroke rate ever so slightly, so that not only that I have that power, but I'm applying it more and more frequently, or there is a shorter amount of time in between each stroke as that gets applied, which just means I travel down both lengths even quicker. So stroke rate, although it's becoming a little bit more established in my repertoire, again, it's another good thing to see, and was foundational in me achieving this personal best. So items to improve on in the future, and first up was the dive, the first thing that I mentioned in the video, where I didn't react quite as quickly to the starting buzzer as the other people, and had I done so, then I might have even seen an even bigger drop. Well, I would have seen a drop in the personal best time even further. However, I think I lost 0.1, maybe 0.2 of a second on that reaction time. So in theory, I could have gone a 27.75 there or thereabouts. I think with this type of performance, had I just reacted just that much quicker in line with the other swimmers in this heat. So something that keeps coming up again and again for me, I really need to practice that reaction time off the blocks, because yeah, in comparison to those that I'm competing against, it's something that just seems to keep coming to the forefront on my dives. So something to improve on there. And whilst we're still on the topic of dive, closing my legs up as I enter the water, because having your legs apart like that just create that little bit extra drag going into the water, which slows you down, and that's not what you want coming off the dive, because you want to use that momentum from the dive, the fastest part of your swim, just to get as much momentum as you can going down that first 25. So really need to learn to get into a streamline as quick as possible once I'm in the air and angling myself down towards the water, just so that I can maintain as much of that speed, as much as that momentum going into the swim. And then naturally when surfacing, trying to keep that as smooth as possible. Instead of bouncing up when surfacing, I really want to try and drive forward with that final dolphin kick. So some minor points to work on there. The surfacing was really good for this swim, and so it just needs a little bit more touching up in order to improve. So my final point of improvement, and one that I've been practicing in training recently, is to loosen up my arms and get my shoulders involved a little bit more. When traveling down the length, I'm still quite flat with my shoulders, where I really want to be rotating these as much as possible. It's quite difficult on the 50 because you want to rotate the shoulders with a reasonable degree of amplitude whilst keeping your hips absolutely flat on the water. So something that I need to focus on. But this just enables me to get a quicker stroke rate still, and also just maintain that smoothness from stroke to stroke. So rather than having a clunk type effect when stroking through the water, instead it's nice and rhythmical, it's consistent, it's clunk, 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 clunk. So I'm really just maintaining that momentum and speed going down the length, as opposed to what I do now, which is a accelerate, deaccelerate, accelerate, deaccelerate down the length. So just keeping that speed a little bit more smooth instead of fluctuating as I go from stroke to stroke. Naturally, you can't maintain a completely consistent speed because that's just the physics and the nature of freestyle swimming, but I can still improve on that and keep those fluctuations lower still by involving my shoulders, just loosening them up a little bit more, and also enabling myself to grab a little bit more of the water with each stroke. But this is something that I'm going to be focusing on a bit more next year to take me up a level even more. It's something that I've noticed looking at higher level freestyle sprint swimming is something that I need to incorporate into my stroke. So that is why it's a point of improvement. So it's not really something that I've been focusing on much before, but I think it's now time to incorporate that into my stroke because it's going to take me to the next level and going even faster with my 50 meters freestyle. So that is it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. I've been David Westcough, and I'll see you again next time. For more swimming content, subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Go from fitness swimmer to confident competitor by taking part in my Master Swimming Bootcamp at westcough.com/bootcamp, or watch another of my videos.